Even those who have studied Buddhism for a long time often pause when faced with these two words. Which path is better? Which one should I choose? Has the practice I've followed until now been the right one? As we grow older, these questions come more frequently. When we were young, striving for enlightenment felt natural. Reading the sutras, practicing meditation, keeping the precepts, disciplining ourselves. We believed that this was the proper way of Buddhist practice. But as life goes on, when the body is no longer the same and the mind becomes easily shaken, a quiet doubt arises. Can I really reach enlightenment? With such a fragile mind, can I truly persevere to the end? Then we encounter the teaching of rebirth, that reciting the Buddha's name is enough, that believing in Amitabha Buddha is enough, that being born in the Pure Land is enough. And then a small doubt appears. Isn't this too easy? Isn't this giving up on practice? Isn't this choosing a lower path than enlightenment? This doubt arises from the mind that tries to rank these two paths as higher and lower. But perhaps the question itself is already misguided. Enlightenment and rebirth are not two paths to be compared. One is not greater, nor is the other inferior. They're simply different ways of understanding that naturally change according to the conditions and stages of life. Like climbing a mountain, the young aim for the summit. The elderly pause to admire the view halfway up. What matters is not which path is right, but the state you are in right now. Is your body healthy? Is your mind calm? Is the weight of life light or heavy? Seeing this honestly is where understanding begins. Enlightenment is the path of standing on one's own. Rebirth is the path of finding something to lean on. Both belong within the Buddha's teachings. Both are ways of settling the mind. Only the path that feels reachable changes with where you stand. This talk does not compare the two, nor does it tell you which to choose. It simply looks calmly at how they differ and why they change with the seasons of life. May this understanding bring a small sense of clarity to your heart. Enlightenment. From the moment we encounter Buddhism, this word becomes a guiding light. The state the Buddha realized beneath the Bodhi tree. Freedom from greed, anger, and ignorance. Seeing things exactly as they are. Yet when asked, what is enlightenment? We hesitate. The sutras say, all phenomena are created by mind. All things are empty in nature. But it takes time for these words to become lived experience. Enlightenment is the path of seeing the roots of desire and attachment within oneself and becoming free from them. When anger arises, seeing where it comes from. When sorrow appears, seeing what it clings to. Even in joy, knowing that it too will pass. This is not intellectual understanding. We already know intellectually that all things are impermanent, that attachment leads to suffering, yet the heart still clings, still grows angry, still grieves. Enlightenment is the slow narrowing of the gap between knowing and being. It requires time, space, a focused mind, and a body capable of carrying the practice. When we are young, healthy, and life allows it, the path of enlightenment feels possible. But as we age, things change. The body tires easily. The mind wavers often. The weight of life presses down, and memories of regret and anxieties about the future take turns visiting us. At that point, the teaching of solve everything on your own can become another burden. Practice turns into obligation, and what we fail to attain turns into self-blame. Enlightenment is the path of awakening. It is precious, but it is not a path that everyone can walk at all times. The Buddha taught the middle way, honestly recognizing what we can bear and what we cannot. Enlightenment is a high path, but it is not the only one. When conditions change, another door opens. Rebirth is the path of trusting the vows of Amitabha Buddha and aspiring to be born in the Pure Land. Enlightenment is the path of cutting through delusion by one's own strength. Rebirth is the path of acknowledging one's limits and relying on compassion. This is not surrender. It is acceptance. Accepting oneself as one is. Reciting Namo Amitabha Buddha is not a magical spell. It is a reminder, I am not alone. The Pure Land is not an escape from suffering. It is a place where the conditions for practice are fully present. Rebirth is not the end. It is another beginning. Practice cannot be the same when we are young and when we are old. When conditions change, changing the method is not failure. Rebirth does not say, do nothing. It says, you do not have to carry everything alone. This too is wisdom. The end of enlightenment and the end of rebirth are not different. Both lead to letting go of attachment. The two paths do not deny each other. They simply shift in weight as life flows. There is no fixed answer. Look honestly at your body, your mind, and your remaining time. That is the true beginning. To pursue enlightenment is valid. To aspire for rebirth is also valid. Where your heart rests right now, that is your path.